Marion County detectives discover the identity of a murder victim. The answer only a county away.
It doesn't take effect until July, but some restaurants in Florida are starting a smoking ban today. I'm Tara Williams with the details in a live report.
And Governor Bush pledges to uphold the Constitution for the second time. WCJB-TV 20 News at 6 starts right now.
TV 20 News is simulcast on WRUF AM 850. It's coverage you can count on from North Central Florida's most watched station. TV 20 News at 6.
So help me God.
People of the state of Florida, Governor.
With a roar from the crowd and a hug from his daughter, Jeb Bush begins his second term as Florida's governor. Good evening, and thanks for being with us. We'll have more on Governor Bush's inauguration a little later in our newscast.
But first, Marion County Sheriff's detectives announce a major break in the investigation into a man found murdered in the Ocala National Forest. Bo Zimmer is following the story. He joins us now live in our Marion County newsroom. Bo?
Gary Page, good evening. Today, investigators say they're finally able to identify the victim found shot to death in the Salt Springs area over a week ago. Relatives reported 54-year-old Paul Allen Lord of Sanford missing on January 4th. Family members had not seen him since December 28th. Along with the victim's identity, investigators have now uncovered new clues which they feel will lead to an arrest.
This is the break that we've been looking for, and now that we know who he is, and we'll trace his past movements, and hopefully this will help us determine who is responsible for this crime.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office recovered the victim's abandoned 2000 Ford Mustang on Monday in a shopping center parking lot. That car is now here in Marion County and considered an important piece of evidence. Captain McQuaig says based on new information, it appears the murder did take place here in Marion County. Live in the Marion County newsroom, Bo Zimmer, WCJB TV 20 News.
A Marion County man is now free to go almost 1 month to the day after Ocala police arrest him for attempted murder. Our Amelia Graham has that story tonight.
It's all spelled out in this document where Assistant State Attorney Robert Hodges explains he's not able to prosecute Avery Sanders because of conflicting statements. And police are frustrated because those statements are coming from the victim in this case, Michael Rush.
I have no idea what goes through the victim's mind. I don't know why.
And neither does the state attorney. Take a look at their findings. The testimony of the victim and the only eyewitness are in direct conflict with each other, and there is no way at this time to resolve their conflict. So where does this leave Avery Sanders after being arrested for attempted murder? Free to go. But that doesn't mean police believe they arrested the wrong man. And the lead investigator says they won't be reopening the case.
We feel comfortable that the defendant in this case was the shooter.
Major Howie may be discouraged, but he says he's not going to give up.
America has the best criminal justice system in the world, and it works. 99% of the time it works.
While Major Howie says he believes in this system, he says in this case, the only way it will ever be solved is with cooperation from Michael Rush. In Ocala, Amelia Graham, WCJB TV 20 News.
It's been a week since the sales tax in Alachua County dropped back to 6 cents on the dollar from 7 cents, but the county says not everyone is charging the lower rate. Our David Harrison joins us live now in our Gainesville newsroom to explain. And David, you spent part of the day trying to see who's charging that extra 1%.
That's right, Paige. Paying 7% sales tax ended with the new year. But as we found out today, there are still some businesses charging unsuspecting customers the old rate.
We continue to get calls from citizens who want to know if the tax has changed.
Even though it has changed, county officials say there are several businesses who aren't playing fair with their customers.
Obviously, some merchants have not gotten the word, have not made the change.
So we went undercover to several area restaurants. We started in Alachua at Bev's Better Burgers. We ordered a burger, fries, and a drink, and the food was fine, the tax 6%. We then headed to Tenders off Northwest 6th Street. They too had their registers right, and the sales tax stood at 6%. Our last stop took us to Guthrie's off Archer Road.
Can I take your order?
Hi, can I get a box, no slaw, extra fries, and water, please? But there, we found the sales tax hasn't changed. Guthrie's charged us $4.43 for the chicken box, and the sales tax was 32 cents, making our total $4.75. If the sales tax is where it was supposed to be, it would have been 27 cents, and the total would cost $4.70. Guthrie's management wouldn't speak on camera, but did say they were unaware of the tax change and would work to fix the problem. The State Department of Revenue says if you run into the same situation, you can ask for a refund and notify Uncle Sam of the business. The State Department of Revenue number is 1-800-352-3671. And while we only went to 3 businesses today, based on viewer calls, there are several businesses out there charging more than they should. That's money that won't go to the county coffers, but to the company's profits. Live in the Gainesville newsroom, David Harrison, WCJB-TV 20 News.
Amendment 6, the new law banning smoking inside public places, becomes part of the Florida Constitution today. Restaurants won't be fined for allowing smoking indoors until July 1st, but some have decided to enforce the ban starting today. WCJB-TV 20's Tara Williams joins us from one such business in Northwest Gainesville to tell us why. Tara?
Gary, I'm here at Beef O'Brady's on Northwest 43rd Street, where as of today, you can no longer smoke inside. Now, some people who come here for happy hour are still adjusting to the change. And even though the law isn't enforced by the state until July, the management here is enforcing the rule now. A new sign outside. Inside, empty ashtrays. The smoking section is gone, and more new signs are going up at this restaurant and others like it.
Today, basically, it was a corporate recommendation to go ahead and start the ban today. Other restaurants in town aren't doing it, but we decided it was best for us to go ahead and do it.
So what do the regulars think?
It's about time. Smoking stinks. I prefer having a restaurant be non-smoking anyway. As far as a bar, I could see a problem with that being non-smoking.
Across town at Hooters restaurant, management decided to wait until the July deadline.
We're just kind of waiting and letting it be a smooth transition so it wasn't something that, affected us any more than it has to.
In 1989, Richard Keiderling won a battle with lung cancer. He likes the idea of a ban and says cigarettes are the reason he now uses a voice box to talk. Others, like Brad Johnson, say the ban's not right. When the ban starts, he says he won't eat out anymore.
John Wayne smoked, I smoke. It's been legal forever, and I don't see where they get the right to make it illegal.
And even though it's now banned at Beefs, smokers still have a choice.
Bring a jacket. Go outside.
And there are some exceptions to the new ban, including retail tobacco shops, designated smoking guest rooms at hotels, and standalone bars. And managers here say even though the new ban is just hours old, it's still business as usual. We're live in Northwest Gainesville. Tara Williams, WCJB-TV 20 News.
Surrounded by his family, Governor Jeb Bush took the oath of office for the second time today. He becomes Florida's first re-elected Republican governor. In his inaugural address, Bush repeated his goals for the state of strengthening families, improving reading, and diversifying the state's economy.
It is my goal in the next 4 years to help grow an economy that will give our people the opportunities they deserve.
Present at today's inauguration were all 3 of Governor Bush's children. The governor said he is rededicating himself to his family and to being a father.
And still ahead at 6 o'clock, it may be known as the second college here in Gainesville, but its students will tell you Santa Fe is second to none.
And today, the state head of the community colleges is in town to honor the school. We'll tell you why.
You're watching North Central Florida's most watched local news with Paige Beck, Gary Mattingly, weather with Bill Quinlan, Joe Gervin Sports, and the TV 20 News team.
The chancellor of the state's community college system helped bring in the spring semester today at Santa Fe.
Paige praised the school's successes and shared the challenges they'll face in the year ahead. Beth Youngren joins us now with the latest on your schools, which is experiencing a record spring enrollment.
Santa Fe Community College may sometimes seem in the shadow of the 45,000 enrolled at the University of Florida. But enrollment figures released today show SFCC spring enrollment tops 13,000, and a higher percent of SFCC students complete their degrees compared to all other Florida community colleges. Chancellor David Armstrong congratulated the crowd of faculty and staff for being a part of one of the best community colleges in the country. He pointed to a recent report by a nonprofit organization which monitors 16 southern states.
Stood out once again as being tops in student success rates as measured in a variety of different ways. And I know that that means that the faculty and the staff, the president and the board are focused on the right things.
Armstrong says community colleges will be a big part of the solution to Florida's teacher shortage, pointing out that 60% of teachers start post-secondary education at community colleges.
Better education is the fundamental mechanism by which a society is elevated and transformed.
At his inauguration today, Governor Bush said reading education for the state's youngsters is a top priority of his second term. Armstrong says that's a good thing since many of the problems community college students face are rooted in reading.
It's hard for students to be able to do good quality college algebra or sciences or anything else, frankly, if they can't read well, if they can't read what you're providing to them.
But when properly prepared, the community college environment fills a vital role. Professor Pat Simmons received the college's award for outstanding innovations and service.
Some people come here so beaten down and so unsure, and they leave just able to go out and be a real asset in the community, and that's what's so great about this job.
And tomorrow we'll explore how the needs of East Gainesville, as well as the September 11th tragedy, will impact the direction that Santa Fe is headed.
All right, Beth, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Beth. When the news at 6 continues, a warning tonight if you live along a coast of a local river.
We'll tell you why authorities are telling you to watch the wake made by boats on that river.
Chilly morning as we head out tomorrow, but things warming up by the afternoon. Detail in just a few minutes.
Bill Quinlan has received the seal of approval by the American Meteorological Society.
Believe it or not, I didn't have any complaints from Jason Bronis about how cold it was this morning, but tomorrow I'm sure we'll get some complaints because it's going to get even colder without the wind chill. Take a look at the temperatures outside. Only made it to 32, but the wind chill earlier this morning made it feel like it was 26 degrees, and that was at 8 o'clock as the sun was coming up. 55 the high this afternoon, should be into the middle 60s, and I think we'll probably begin to see some warmer temperatures as we head over the next couple of days. Temperatures right now, see, already dropping into the 40s. 44 in Lake City, 46 Gainesville, Ocala, 50 degrees down towards Cedar Key. And the light winds across all of north central Florida, well, it's going to be a cold night tonight, and because of that we do have freeze warnings in effect, and the freezing temperatures below 32 degrees for anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. If we get below 32 degrees before midnight, it'll be close to 8 hours because I don't expect the temperature to start rising up until after 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But the temperature should probably bottom out about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We shouldn't get any colder than that, but 27 is cold enough. Here in Gainesville, for tonight, 26 in Jacksonville, 27 in Tallahassee. We may see a few areas around 22 to 23, but tomorrow warming back up to around 62 in Gainesville, 64 Tampa, and 63 up towards Jacksonville. So the warmer temperatures returning, and those will actually warm up even more so as we get towards Thursday. We're expecting a high temperature close to about 70 degrees. But you can see across the rest of the southeast, all clear skies. All the snow showers we had in the southern Appalachians have dissipated. Maybe some good news for the skiers, but you can see those cold temperatures across the southeast. 44 in Atlanta, 41 in Charlotte, 43 in Nashville, 45 in Jacksonville. You have to head all the way down to Miami to get into the 60s, and they're going to be chilling off tonight as well across the rest of the southeast. So let's see if we can keep this from looping around there. Here it comes. So you see high pressure kind of holding on, and we do see a little disturbance moving through the northeastern U.S. with high pressure down towards the south. That's going to keep the cold temperatures in here for a while, but we'll start to warm up a little bit as we get towards the latter part of the week. But cold temperatures for tomorrow morning, but then we'll actually begin to warm up a little bit as we get towards Thursday. Well, those temperatures kind of holding on here with the warmer temperatures kind of coming back and temperatures getting up close to 70 degrees with a cold front on the way. We may actually see some rain showers by Friday. Clear and cold, 27 for low temperature. Light winds out there, 62 with mostly sunny skies. A bit warmer for tomorrow, but still breezy conditions. Winds out of the west at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. For the boaters, because of those winds, especially overall at St. Augustine, small craft advisory, 5 to 7 foot seas. Cedar Key, 2 to 3 foot seas over there. So a bit on the choppy side. And the 5-day forecast looks like temperatures warming up to 71 on Thursday and Friday, 65 with a 20% chance of showers. But tonight, and tomorrow morning will be very cold indeed. Your forecast fact for today: lightning can occur in winter during thunderstorms that are capable of producing snowfall rates as much as 3 inches per hour. And one thing you'll notice if you actually are in a thunderstorm and you hear the thunder or see the lightning, the rain actually falls faster after that happens. And there's some mechanisms to that I won't go into because I went through the math last night of wind chills.
Too much.
Yes.
Thanks,
Okay.
Bill. Mr. Windchill. A warning: if you live or own property along the Withlacoochee River, I know Bill just said we only have a 20% chance of rain on Friday, and that's good news because you could otherwise probably expect some property damage. Let's take a look at the river in December. That's before it reached its current level. Right now, the Withlacoochee stands at 7 feet. If it reaches 7.2 in the next couple of days, it could reach that high if it does rain. Wakes of passing boats could cause damage to property along the banks. Although it is not expected to reach flood stage, that's 8 feet. Citrus County has already posted some no wake signs until the waters there recede.
It's time to shake out those cobwebs. That means the Gator basketball team returns to action tonight against a big-time opponent.
Start of SEC play, Gary, and no easy way to get into it. Mississippi State is red hot. Bulldogs have won 10 in a row. We'll have a preview of that matchup coming up after the break. Plus, Gainesville's Clinton Portis had a huge first season in the NFL. Was it enough to win Rookie of the Year honors? We'll find out right after this. Armed with an 11-2 record and number 12 national ranking, the Gator basketball team starts conference play tonight. Florida will face number 7 Mississippi State at 9 o'clock in Starkville. You can see it live on ESPN. The Gators and Bulldogs split 2 games last year, with Florida winning big at home and State getting some revenge in the conference tournament. Billy Donovan says some things have changed since then.
I think that their team probably resembles more of their team last year than we resemble our team last year. So I think we're much different this year than we were last year. They're probably a little bit similar because they got so many players coming back.
That list starts with all-conference center Mario Austin. He's shown the range to hit from three-point land, but Donovan is more worried about how to stop him from getting position in the paint.
The defense starts the minute he crosses half court. You got to be thinking about defending him then, because if you run back into the paint on him, he's just too physically big and strong, and he just totally discards everybody he plays against.
Fast break, nice bounce pass, Austin! And that could be especially true against Florida, since the Gators don't have a true center. But Donovan doesn't think his team needs to foul Austin every time he touches the ball.
David Lee's a matchup problem for them just because of the way he can handle and pass and different things that he can do. So I don't think you want to go in there with the mentality of, we're going to get in foul trouble. Now, I think Adrian Moss can be very physical. I think Bonell needs to be physical. But certainly for us, Matt Bonner and David Lee, those two guys need to stay out of foul trouble for us.
A year ago at this time, Gainesville's Clinton Portis decided to skip his senior season to enter the draft. Looks like he made the right move. The former GHS and University of Miami star is the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year. Portis rushed for more than 1,500 yards this season, by far the best among first-year players and 4th overall. He averaged 5.5 yards a carry and also scored 15 touchdowns while starting Denver's last 12 games and playing in all 16. Fellow former Hurricane Jeremy Shockey finished a distant 2nd in the balloting. Rex Grossman would love to have similar success during his first year in the NFL. Grossman's numbers fell off significantly during his junior season, but his draft status stayed about the same, and he has no regrets about coming back to school.
No, not at all. I've really developed into a better quarterback and learned a lot from Coach Sonbrecker and Coach Zook, and really enjoyed my experience. No regrets as far as coming back last year.
At this time next year, we may be talking about Pete Rose's chances for enshrinement. At the moment, 2 other players have their tickets punched for Cooperstown. Eddie Murray is the 38th man to make it in on the first try. He is the only switch hitter in Major League Baseball history with 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. Murray was an 8-time All-Star who helped the Orioles win the World Series back in 1983. Gary Carter helped the Mets win the title in 1986. I don't really have too much to say about 1986 other than that. And after 6 tries, Gary Carter is now a Hall of Famer as well. Carter was an 11-time All-Star. He spent most of his career in Montreal and is the first person who spent a significant portion of his career with the Expos to make it to Cooperstown. Carter is one of only 13 catchers in the Hall of Fame. For you people who may not remember the 1986 World Series, of course, it was the Boston Red Sox and Bill Buckner in that storied series. A final note, and this one does not come as much of a surprise because he's been practicing for the last week plus. Donovan McNabb will start a quarterback for the Eagles when they play the Falcons Saturday night in the NFL playoffs. Big return for Philadelphia. We'll see what Donovan McNabb is able to do, but just getting him back, you would think, would be a big confidence boost for a team that's playing so very well right now.
That's going to be a very interesting game.
Looking forward to it. Michael Vick is unbelievable, so we'll see two of the best in the business, McNabb and Vick.
Thanks, man. Well, recapping our top story making news at the 6 o'clock hour, a man found murdered in the Ocala National Forest last week has finally been identified. Investigators tell us he is 54-year-old Paul Allen Lord. He was reported missing by his family in Sanford more than a week ago. Investigators now have uncovered new clues, which they feel will lead to an arrest. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office found Lord's car on Monday in a shopping center parking lot.
Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, new or more on our top story. How did a dead man's picture end up on television before Marion County officials identified his body?
If you are calling 911, you should have a legitimate emergency, but local operators say more and more this isn't always the case, and these calls could put you in danger.
Plus, Joe will have highlights from Starkville as the Gators take on Mississippi State in a Top 20 showdown. It's all new tonight on the Night Beat. That's all our time. Thanks for joining us.
ABC World News Tonight is next on TV 20. We'll see you back here later. Good night, everybody.
Good night.